This is the marketing automation discussion, and I'm your host, Alex Glenn. It's early here in Chicago, but automation waits for no one. So here we are.
90%
Conversational marketing.
They didn't see you,
I
man.
think a real game changer.
The marketing automation discussion.
Today is all about automating your feedback loops to increase customer satisfaction and improve speed and efficiency of bug fixes, as well as reducing churn. My guest today is Baptiste, the founder of Feedier.com. That's Feedier.com if you're listening. Baptiste, why don't you tell us a little bit about Feedier and what it does exactly?
Yes, of course, and thanks for having me, Alex. I'm really excited to be here. I think everyone will find a lot of value in what we're going to show them today, so really pumped. So Feedier, in a nutshell, Feedier is a web feedback application focusing on the gamification and the user experience in order to gain more actionable feedback results and to get a better understanding of your customers.
I love it. Yes, I'm showing the site here, so I'll kind of try to take people through a little bit of a demo so they get a feel for how it works. But it's great to have you, and I'm really enjoying my initial experience as I played around with it. It's a gorgeous tool. Well done. That is why I reached out, and that's why we're using Feedier in our example today. So again, feedback loops is the main topic. So what I'd like to do is start today's discussion by presenting a few situations most of the people listening or watching should be familiar with. Let's say that you are trying to solve for any of the following. You want to improve user experience by testing a new site design, onboarding funnels, web app dashboards, etc. Let's say you want to gain feedback on specific pieces of content you are sending traffic to. This could be a new ebook, video, white paper, or anything your team has put a ton of time into. So feedback is very important. Let's say that you want to reduce churn in your product or increase conversions from free to paid accounts. And let's say you want to find and fix issues as soon as possible. So it could be every one of the following examples. The most important thing is that in these situations, on-page analytics for things like time on page, maybe click and heat maps, fall off at each stage in the conversion funnel. These are all important things to have, but they don't tell the full picture. To tell the full picture, we really do need to understand what happened with the customer's journey. And to get that information, we need to talk to the customer. So this is why we are going to discuss this automation. Now, Baptiste, tell our listeners how to set up the automation that we're about to discuss.
Yeah, sure. So Alex, as you mentioned, we need to get the customer's feedback in order to really tackle and understand whether we want to talk about UX, churn, issues in the funnel. So this automation today in our product, with our product Feedier, is used on top of Slack in conjunction with Zapier, which is a marketing automation tool, and possibly Asana to solve all of the needs you mentioned earlier. So how to set that up? First, you need to go into Feedier.com. If you don't have signed up yet, grab yourself an account for set up your first survey. Then once you're done with all of the actual configuration of your surveys, design, set up the question, make the survey your own survey, you can grab the widget code, which is basically a small JavaScript snippet, and add this to your website in order to see the widget coming up. I believe Alex is just pointing to the help article in order to help you get started for this part. Then next step for you is to connect Zapier and Slack with Feedier. So in order to set up Slack, it's very simple. We do have a native integration. So just go from your integration page in Feedier and connect to Slack, connect to your directory, and choose the channel you want to send the message to, and you're good. We also have an intercom integration coming soon, so you will be able to request feedback straight from the chat, which help you go even further and automate all of the process. Zapier will help you basically tag based on the customer satisfaction. We'll get into more details later.
Let's quickly discuss the scenario we recommend using this particular automation in. For example, I have designed and deployed a new pricing page, or maybe a new checkout funnel for an e-commerce site. I can see conversions drop off at each stage in the funnel via my site analytics, GA or otherwise, but why are users more or less interested in this new pricing or checkout funnel? Well, you can find out by running a survey. Then the next step is to automate the actions for your team post-survey to ensure you are making the most out of this new data as fast as possible. Now, Baptiste, tell us what we are going to set up with regards to this particular situation.
What you're going to set up are two different surveys for this funnel. So the survey number one is deploy if and when they spend too much time on the page. So, for instance, it could be the checkout page. So this part requires a bit of JavaScript, and Alex is pointing you to the documentation. The reason we deploy this survey after 15 seconds, for instance, on any particular pages without typing going on is because we're fairly sure they are having issues or doubt around the product. So they're not confident about going further. So you need to find out why in order to improve. In order to create this 50-second delay, we have the JavaScript API, and so you just need to follow along JavaScript API section, show or hide instruction in the documentation. For the survey number two, we deploy it on a post checkout use case in order to include an offer. So we want to boost the loyalty and also see how we did and what could we do better. We include an offer because this survey is not meant to help them in any way like the former, but it's meant to more help us kind of engage and understand like what could we do better in order to improve the products. We offer them an extra month, for instance, or some kind of discount for the next order. And so no JavaScript is required. We're going to send out the request by email using email automation.
So what I got from that is two different surveys. First one that you just outlined, this one is going to deploy during the funnel. We have a 15-second delay that's set up using JavaScript. So the reason we set up the 15-second delay, to reiterate that point, is because 15 seconds is about the amount of time that someone will sit on a page and be confused. You know, if they haven't figured out what to do next after 15 seconds, they are probably experiencing some sort of an issue, or possibly they have bounced and just left the window open. So 15 seconds is a good amount of time. And then if the results come back positive, we have a couple of actions that we want to take in the CRM, as well as pushing them to some sort of a social sharing or some sort of a testimonials action page, depending on what you have set up. And then if they're negative, we want to make sure that the customer success team is notified via Slack and everybody takes action accordingly. So that's the 15-second during funnel delay survey. So now that we have survey one set up, it's in the funnel and it's being triggered after 15 seconds. We have a second survey that we like to set up after the funnel. So if you're a SaaS product, they have maybe signed up for your free trial, maybe signed up for a paid account, but they've fully signed up. If you're an e-commerce product, maybe they have made it through checkout and purchased a product. At this stage, you don't know if they've had a great experience or a poor experience. You know that they didn't get hung up, but that's about it. So we don't assume positive or negative. We want to deploy another survey, but at this point, they're about to leave your funnel, so you need to give them some sort of an incentive to hang around and actually fill out the survey. So, Baptiste, why don't you tell them how to set up the second survey, the post-funnel survey?
That's a great question, Alex. So at the end of this survey, we display a phone number in order to call the customer success department, even though we doubt it's going to happen. So we need to take action on our side as well. So a notification is sent out through Slack to the customer success team. They are notified as soon as there is a new feedback entry coming in. And this notification will include a link to a page where they can review all of the content of this feedback. So everyone in the team is notified. We also add a tag within the CRM, either negative or positive based on the satisfaction ratio from the customer. If it's positive, we push the customer to leave us a review on any kind of platform, so Trustpilot, App Store, Capterra, whatever. And we also add a social sharing option in order to spread the word. But on the other side, if negative, which is more likely to happen based on our use case. So as I mentioned, we add the tag, we notify the customer success team through Slack, and we also set up some kind of follow-up sequence by email in order to thank you the customers, ask a phone number to see if we could call him and book a call with him. And if they reply, we should be able to get a better understanding. All of this information is also sent out through to Asana in order to notify the product team that they also need to fix something or improve something.
Okay, now let's explain what happens when either survey is filled out. When they fill out survey number one, since this is deployed during the funnel, after 15 seconds of non-activity on any page, we assume they are experiencing issues. So Baptiste, what do we do with the results from survey number 1 in this example?
So your customer are introduced to the survey through an introduction page with the offer of what we're giving them, so discount code, 3 months, whatever, and any additional information regarding the data we collect, why we collect it, and how long it's going to take to fill out the survey. Same as before, whenever there is a new feedback coming in, we send out a notification, we add the tag, and everyone in the customer success team is notified and receive an alert. But as opposed to the first case, when there is a negative view, we also add to what we call an anti-churn sequence, which starts from your CRM. Now that they have a tag in the CRM, you can add them to the automation in your CRM, which helps the team get better at using the software, as well as forms some kind of tighter bond between them and their customer success rep.
Yeah, exactly. And, there are CRMs with built-in automations that we've recommended before on the podcast. I like Agile CRM, Active Campaign, SalesSeek, just to name a few. That's something you're going to want, especially with any type of automation. You're going to want to be able to place tags on profiles. Pretty much every CRM does. Then you're going to want to trigger automations based on those tags. So in this case, a negative versus a positive review will have different automations. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to Baptiste. So the results from this feedback loop, you've got a clear and organized system now to increase response rates on poor satisfaction, to reduce poor reviews or churn in the checkout funnel. Increase customer satisfaction by making sure that you are on top of any issues that they have, and do that on an automated basis. Now, on the flip side, you now have an automated way to send highly satisfied individuals to your Trustpilot, App Store profile, your Capterra review page, what have you, in order to receive a positive rating and more social proof for your brand. And number 3, you have more customer trust and less churn. So you're helping them through the funnel. You're increasing the effectiveness of your funnel by responding to bugs faster. All of this reduces churn and helps increase the customer's trust in your brand. If you like this feedback loop, you can obviously head to feedier.com. You can contact the team over there. We will provide some level of help at automated.af, but at the end of the day, you do want to go ahead and install the Feedier application and give this system a try. So Baptiste, thank you again for coming on today. Why don't you tell everyone the best way to get a hold of you and where to contact you and the Feedier team?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. You can find me on LinkedIn, but it's Doberverse, so I believe Alex is going to show my profile. You can also find Feedier at feedier.com and reach out through intercom or by email at contact@feedier.com. We're really happy to help and to receive any feedback, any questions regarding this automation or any kind of customer success, customer feedback question. We're happy to help out and to advise.
Yeah, I'm showing this contact information here. Everything looks great. I'm excited to get this thing out there. Thanks again, Baptiste.
Thanks again.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.